An institutional giant getting into the world of stablecoins. Welcome to Forkast IQ. It's where we look beyond just the headlines to get you the insights and knowledge that will help power smarter decisions. I'm Forkast's editor-in-chief, Angie. Stand back, everyone. A fintech giant traded publicly on Wall Street, a staple in institutional holdings, is making a splash in the $125 billion stablecoin market this week. We're talking about PayPal here, and it's launching an Ethereum blockchain-based stablecoin called PayPal USD, or PYUSD, that's pegged to the US dollar. Now, on Monday, PayPal said its stablecoin is 100% backed by US dollar deposits, short-term US treasuries, and similar cash equivalents. It added that PYUSD is redeemable one-for-one for US dollars and is issued by Paxos Trust Company. Now, customers who purchase the stablecoin will be able to transfer the stablecoin to compatible external wallets, pay other people, convert to and from other PayPal-supported crypto using the stablecoin. PayPal USD will be rolling out in the coming weeks, it said, for US customers. It will then become available on Venmo, the peer-to-peer payment application owned by PayPal. A lot of you use it. It's going to happen sometime in the future, though they haven't said exactly when. So what's the feedback so far? Well, it's a good signal. Many industry leaders have welcomed this development, including those in Asia. Gracie Chen of Singapore-based crypto exchange BitGet said the launch of PYUSD seems to highlight that the U.S. digital currency regulatory policy is moving towards clarity and loosening. As for Vincent Chalk of Hong Kong-based First Digital Trust, the unveiling of PayPal USD reflects the increasing acceptance of stablecoins as a legitimate and viable form of digital payment and the growing relevance of cryptocurrencies in mainstream finance. Couldn't agree more. Speaking of crypto developments in the U.S., Senator Elizabeth Warren and 3 other senators reintroduced their crypto anti-money laundering bill, called Digital Asset Anti-Money Laundering Act of 2023. The bill aims to bring crypto participants such as wallet providers, miners, and validators under compliance requirements for financial institutions. Now, if it becomes a law, these entities will have to file reports for any transactions exceeding $10,000 US and report money laundering or tax evasion activities. But some say the bill seems a little draconian here, and it could be yet another blow to an industry already under duress. Chamber of Digital Commerce, this is an advocacy group that promotes blockchain technology based in Washington, D.C., said the proposed bill will eradicate digital asset innovation in the country by imposing impractical compliance burden on industry participants. Meanwhile, over in Hong Kong, the city's Securities and Futures Commission, or SFC, has issued a warning over unlicensed crypto platforms. The commission said some unlicensed virtual asset service trading platforms are falsely claiming to have submitted license applications to the SFC without having done so. SFC also said some unlicensed platforms are continuing to launch new services and products under their existing entities, which may not comply with the applicable legal and regulatory requirements. Now, under existing rules, conducting unlicensed activities in Hong Kong is a criminal offense. Currently, Hashkey and OSL Exchange are really the only fully licensed virtual asset exchanges in China's special administrative region. Of course, we're talking about Hong Kong here. All right, speaking of crypto exchanges, one seems to be in the crosshairs of investor concerns and fear, uncertainty, and doubt, or FUD, and it's centered around one of the oldest and biggest exchanges that was founded in China and now operates internationally. Who are we talking about here? Yeah, we're talking about Huobi Global. It's in hot water amid insolvency rumors and reports of investigations by authorities in China. On Sunday, crypto analyst Adam Cochran highlighted a recent bulk sell-off of the USDT stablecoin across cryptocurrency exchanges, including Binance. Cochran attributed the sell-off to a potential Huobi insolvency issue related to STUSDT. That's a staked USDT product recently launched on the Tron blockchain. Tron's founder, Justin Sun, is an advisor and stakeholder at Huobi. So you see the connection there, right? Sun claims that STUSDT is backed by government bonds carrying a yield of over 4%. Now, Cochrane, the analyst, explained on-chain data showed that 98% of the staked USDTs were directly held by addresses related to Sun or Huobi, with a significant proportion sent into Sun's other decentralized finance positions. And DeFi Llama data showed the exchange only held a combined USDT and USDC balance of around $93 million when Cochrane posted his tweets over the weekend. So this could, if true, put the exchange at risk of failing to honor customers' withdrawal requests. And adding to Huobi's travails, Hong Kong's Tech Hub News reported that several of Huobi's executives were detained by the Chinese police and under investigation, citing unnamed sources. But Huobi's social media head, Xie Jiayin, took to Twitter Saturday, or X, took to X Saturday to dismiss the news. In a blog post, the exchange said the platform is operating as usual, and in a statement sent to us here at Forkast, the exchange said they've reached out to the media who reported the alleged arrest to remove and correct the story. It adds Huobi reserves the right to take legal actions against platforms or individuals with acute intents to mislead or defame. All right, well, there is never a dull moment in crypto, is there? Let's get in Markus Thielen of Matrixport then to talk about the big market moves and his predictions for Bitcoin as we enter the second half of this year. All right, good to see you, Markus. How's it going? Big guns are entering the crypto waters we're seeing with PayPal. We talked about it the earlier part of the show, launching its own dollar-pegged stablecoin. What do you think this could mean for stablecoins as a whole and the dominance of Tether and Circle?
Well, it seems, PayPal would serve a different customer base than Tether, for example. Tether mainly focused outside of, consumers, mainly focused also on remittances, mainly focused on emerging markets. At least that's what the company is trying to project. And I think it's quite interesting with PayPal, that they're teaming up with Paxos. So even like in times like this, when of course there is still people talking about crypto winter, when there's still all these headwinds from a regulatory perspective, especially in the US. So I think it's quite positive for the industry.
Markus, you recently said you expect a 10% drop on Bitcoin from the current levels. BTC is currently hovering around the 29,000 US level. It's been consolidating here and there for a few weeks. What makes you think we could see a sharp sell-off, and what do you think is going to trigger it?
I think we're coming now into the typical late summer lull where prices tend to sell off a little bit, people tend to take profit. And what we have been actually highlighting is because of the implied volatility has become really so cheap, it makes a lot of sense to just sell some of your Bitcoin, buy some upside calls so you still have exposure in case there is a rally, but you have a lot less capital at risk. And 29,000 is really seems to be like a big support level that we're trying to break. And if we break, we can really go down 5 to 10%, we think.
Well, markets look weak in the near term, but what's your target for Bitcoin and ETH by the end of the year?
So by the end of the year, I would still come up with a price target of around 45,000. And while this sounds like pretty optimistic, this is a price target we drew up from January 31st because of the January effect. So the January effect is if Bitcoin is up in January, there's a high probability it rallies for the rest of the year. We had 6 Januaries when Bitcoin was up, and 5 of those Bitcoin prices actually rallied for the rest of the year. And the last 2 times this happened, Bitcoin actually went up 100%.
All right, thanks for joining in, Markus. Really appreciate having you on the show. All right, time for a quick break, but we will check in on the NFT markets when we come back. Stay with us.
Forkast.News is your gateway to all things blockchain, breaking down and breaking through the noise with the people who know it best and why it matters. We go to where the action is, from Asia to the world. Forkast is the most reliable source of intellectual discourse and insight that informs, educates, and bridges the gap between the blockchain industry and the mainstream. The future is being built, and Forkast has it covered. This is Forkast.News.
All right, welcome back to Forkast IQ. I'm your host and editor-in-chief, Angie. Well, NFT markets have had a rough ride so far this year. I mean, we're just taking a look at the Forkast 500 NFT index here, which measures the overall health of NFT markets. It's lost close to 40% overall so far in 2023, and it's trading at all-time lows. And quite frankly, the NFT picture across other blockchains like ETH or Solana doesn't look any better. But Forkast Labs data analyst Yehudah Petscher is spotting some green shoots. All right, where are they? Yehudah, good to see you. How's it been going this week?
Hey there, great to see you. Yeah, another week of dynamic action in NFTs. Yes, we have now seen some time in the past week in the green, especially on Sunday and Monday. I took a look at the Forkast 500 NFT index. No, I was greeted with a screen of green. Up anywhere from 0.1% up to almost 1%. It's great to see that there is some excitement left in the space. It is certainly at least heading in the right direction. Now, sales volume is still low. In fact, the week we just wrapped up, ending this past Sunday, well, $86 million in secondary sales across blockchains. This is still that low point that mirrors June 2021, around that time of year. And really, for the past few weeks, we have been at this level. Our unique buyers, our unique sellers, our number of total transactions, well up from that time in 2021. But the sales volume, significantly down. Some of that news is it's rather excellent. You have the Doodles teasing a new 3D avatar. You have DeGods teasing their new Season 3, which is going to bring female avatars into their collection. You also have VFriends partnering with Reebok to make some custom VFriend branded sneakers. They're partnering with Squishmallows or Squishmallows. Now, Starbucks NFTs. Good news there is they've done really well. They've been very successful. Twitter username Sammy pointed out in a thread that if you've minted a Starbucks NFT, which are called stamps, you're in the profit. That simple. They know how to price their NFTs. Well, on the NFT side, we're pricing our mints at hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and even something like a Zuki that was 2 ETH, right? Almost $4,000. The Starbucks NFTs are priced at $100. So much more reasonable. People are so much more willing to spend $100 simply to collect, just to collect this brand that they're aware of, that they probably love, that they probably take part of and enjoy almost on a daily basis. So in general, the NFT space needs to get very real about what we're charging if we want to be taken seriously. So let's hope to see some change out there. Beeple bought a CryptoPunk last week. It's his first, it might be his first profile picture. I'm not exactly sure, but it's the first noteworthy one that he's actually talked about publicly. It matches him perfectly. A clown nose. It has clown eyes. It has a mohawk. It's a wild looking CryptoPunk PFP that matches his wild personality. He is already making waves in the CryptoPunk community, throwing a party for CryptoPunk holders at his art studio. CryptoPunk holders can attend for free. They can bring a +1. Somebody please feel free to bring me. Now you have a new video game called Rec League. This is backed by Animoca and partnered with Yuga Labs. This is a major blockchain game. This mint's coming later this month. You can only buy it with Yuga Labs ApeCoin, showing that these guys know how to drive utility to the NFTs and the crypto that they release. ApeCoin saw a 5% increase in the price point when it was announced that that's the only way you could mint the NFT, so that was great to see. The NFTs themselves, well, you use them to assemble a mech, you will fight other players, you will win on-chain rewards. So a lot of great use cases for NFTs. Here's the one I'm most excited about. You can assemble a mech, you can then have that completed mech and the skin of him sold on a marketplace, possibly even to a non-NFT version of this game. So other players will go to a marketplace, see a mech that they like the look of it, they buy it, not realizing that it technically was made up of NFTs. They're just buying the skin, mind you. The person who made that NFT or that mech with NFTs, well, they get a cut of that sale. So great way to drive some value back to the holders of NFTs, back to people who are participating in this blockchain game. All around, it's very exciting to see, and noteworthy here, this is the first time seeing a Yuga Labs brand or IP in a blockchain game other than their own game. So we're starting to see interoperability really take shape in Web3 and in the NFT ecosystem. Now, finally, on the dark side of NFTs, you know where I'm going with this, the bad actors and scams, and you know the story. The FBI issued a warning that there are bad actors impersonating NFT devs, whether it's to socially engineer someone or it's to maybe more directly scam a project or a team. They are using this method to steal crypto and to steal NFTs. And again, it may have slowed down, but that's just because the market itself has slowed down. These bad actors are still very, very active. These bad actors are purchasing ad space from Google. Users are then searching for marketplaces that they're familiar with, something like looks rare. The top result that comes up when they search it, well, they click on it without really thinking and without looking too hard, not noticing that it's actually an advertisement space and that it's linking to a bad website. They click on the website, they connect their wallet, they approve a transaction, and boom, their crypto's gone, their NFTs are gone. One of these users, $300,000 worth of crypto gone in an instant. So be very, very careful out there. Now, another example of this, though it's not a scam, it is still malicious, but just pointing out that there is a very, very intense game of PvP going on in the NFT marketplaces, on Blur specifically, where users are farming points. Well, one trader noticed that another trader is using a bot to copy his bids. He decides to take advantage of it. He doesn't like somebody stealing his game plan. So he went ahead and he listed his Azukis for sale. He bid on his own Azukis for 50 ETH, now knowing that this bot is going to copy his bids. Well, it did copy his bids. It bid 50 ETH on his Azukis. This person accepted all of those bids. It's a gray area, right? But it makes me also question other activity on the Blur marketplace. Wash trading is not legal. Now, NFTs are not yet considered securities, so maybe it's okay. Maybe right now it's not illegal to be wash trading NFTs, but keep in mind that could change at any moment with regulations from the government. And if NFTs are ruled to be securities, well, all of a sudden are all of these wash trades, which a majority of the Blur marketplace is wash trades, all of a sudden are those illegal trades, and are the users who have been trading this way at risk? We'll bring you the latest happenings again here next week. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Yehudah. Let's take a quick break then, and on the other side, we're going to be talking about cryptocurrencies and how they've come to the rescue in recent humanitarian crises and how it could be part of global response in the future.
Forkast News is your gateway to all things blockchain, breaking down and breaking through the noise with the people who know it best and why it matters. The future is being built, and Forkast has it covered. This is Forkast News.
All right, welcome back to Forkast IQ. Well, blockchain technology, it's oftentimes been described as groundbreaking and revolutionary, but well, over the past year, as war rages in Eastern Europe and severe weather events cause untold damage to communities around the world, blockchain's utility in times of crises is increasingly coming to the fore. Forkast's Will Fee finds out how crypto has been used to help out those in need, putting blockchain and crypto to use in real life for real people.
The Russia-Ukraine war has been described as the world's first, or at least its largest, open source war. It began with Russia's invasion on the 24th of February last year, and throughout the war, combatants, civilians, and governments alike have used the internet and social media to solicit funds via cryptocurrencies. Regardless of affiliation and what side of the battle line they're fighting on, crypto aid has flooded into the region in record amounts. And the numbers involved are eye-catching. Analytics firm Crystal Blockchain estimates that Ukraine had received over $225 million in crypto donations by the end of July this year. That's roughly 20% of all the donations made to Ukraine in the 18 months since the start of the war. On the Russian side, blockchain analytics company Chainalysis found that in the first year alone, pro-Russia groups involved in the conflict had received the equivalent of $5.5 million in donations. That's of course small beer when compared to, say, the $1 billion in annual financial support Russian President Vladimir Putin claims to have provided the now exiled Wagner mercenary group in the first year of the war.
Yeah, I mean, I think historically we've definitely seen crypto used in armed conflict, related to Al-Qaeda or ISIS in the past, but at very small scales overall. This was certainly the largest scale that we've seen crypto used in an armed conflict thus far, and I certainly can see it continuing to be used.
On the Ukrainian side, the use of blockchain technology to deliver crypto aid to areas in need expedites the process by which support, be it from Western donors or family and friends, becomes available. Speaking to Forkast, Bogdan Opryshko of Kyiv-based crypto staking firm Everstake said aid transferals in cryptocurrencies prove particularly important for Ukrainian communities. Opryshko explained, The direct and immediate nature of blockchain transactions allows users to bypass the structural and administrative difficulties faced by the wartime state and its institutions. Institutions are also making use of blockchain's possibilities. In December 2022, the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, or UNHCR, adopted a first-of-its-kind program to distribute cash assistance to a small group of Ukrainian refugees in the form of USDC.
It's really an amazing use of USDC. Folks who might be, sitting in a basement while bombs are going off on outside can, receive money on this as long as they have an internet connection. From the UN's perspective, not only can they get aid in faster, but they can actually track where it's going. So this stands in stark contrast to some forms of aid disbursement.
Traditionally, aid disbursement tends to suffer from administrative bottlenecks, but for blockchain advocates, the use of stablecoins such as USDC and other innovations in the Web3 space provides a ready solution that not only improves on traditional methods of both giving and receiving aid, but for re-engaging donors with the field of humanitarian aid also.
For the nonprofit sector, I think it addresses a lot of the pain points that have been felt for decades by nonprofits. Precarious funding, trouble engaging with new donors, a lack of kind of transparency and breakdowns in trust between donors and nonprofits, a lack of opportunities for donors to engage in the process.
And that doesn't just apply to conflict situations. According to a report by blockchain analytics firm Elliptic, a total of $12.5 million in cryptocurrency donations reached the Syria-Turkey border in the weeks following the earthquake that devastated the region in February, to a cost of some 60,000 lives. Elsewhere, the World Food Programme's Building Blocks project has successfully delivered aid to a number of displaced communities via blockchain technology, including to Syrian war refugees at a settlement in Lebanon in 2020.
So it doesn't matter if you're moving from place to place, as long as you have an internet connection, you can access those funds. So I think it really is a game changer when it comes to the delivery of emergency aid, especially as we're seeing more of a need for it as well.
But for blockchain to really start exerting an influence in foreign aid, it needs to be understood better by potential beneficiaries. UNHCR Treasurer Carmen Het conceded that a lack of knowledge and distrust of the technology has been a stumbling block in certain cases. To avoid that scenario in future, she said, further investment in digital literacy is crucial for helping vulnerable communities understand the funding avenues opened up by blockchain technology. Should that happen, blockchain's benefits as a tool for delivering humanitarian aid could be added definitively to a growing list of use cases. For Forkast, I'm Will Fee.
From good to not so good here, the spectrum is still wide, and in Australia, some concerns here. Crypto scams cost Australians $151 million in 2022 alone. Aussie banks are blocking millions of dollars in crypto payments in an effort to protect customer funds. National Australia Bank is the latest to block crypto transactions, along with 4 of the largest banks in the country, including Westpac, Commonwealth Bank of Australia, and ANZ. What impact will the move have on cryptocurrencies in Australia? Well, we asked Caroline Bowler, CEO of one of the leading Australian crypto exchanges, BTC Markets, and one of the oldest. She joined me on the latest episode of Word on the Block. And then the irony of Commonwealth Bank saying it will restrict crypto payments to 10,000 Australian dollars per month. So on one hand, you have this, innovation where people get to participate. There's a playground, sandbox effect, and anything is possible. And then the real life day-to-day is, this kind of restricting the crypto payments. Obviously, the intention to catch fraud and scams, but, these restrictions seem like they would have, a negative impact.
Everyone is saying it. You need a whole cross-body collaboration, but you also need a huge amount of education in Australia around what's happening with scams. Why are people so vulnerable to them in Australia compared to other countries? That needs to be rooted out and understood and educated on. The decisions then to put those restrictions in place absolutely have impacted negatively a vast number of our crypto users. I know for ourselves, we see it in client feedback all the time, repeated attempts to try and deposit money and they're being rebuffed by one of the big four. That's really challenging for us as a business.
So you got to tune into the next episode of Word on the Block that comes out on Monday to find out more. You don't want to miss it. Well, that is a wrap on this week's show. Thanks for tuning in. It was great to share time with you. And remember to like and subscribe to this video if you're watching us online, or stay tuned right here on this channel if you're watching from home, your office, from the trading floors. You know where you are. I'm Forkast Editor-in-Chief and your host, Angie Lau. Join us again this time next week as we bring you the latest from the world of Web3 and why it all matters. Forkast IQ. Get intelligent in Web3.